At a construction site in Paddington, England, workers uncover an unexploded bomb buried beneath the rubble. The discovery immediately triggers a large emergency response. Chief Superintendent Susanna Greenfield coordinates the operation from headquarters, while Major Will Tranter oversees the scene and believes the bomb dates back to World War II. As a safety measure, nearby residents are evacuated, including Rahim and his elderly parents, one of whom relies on a wheelchair. However, inside one apartment building, a group of men led by George Carolus secretly stay behind. They intend to use the evacuation as cover for a carefully planned bank robbery. Disguised as maintenance workers, the crew enters the basement and begins drilling through underground walls toward a nearby bank. Since emergency alarms are already sounding throughout the area, any alarms triggered by the robbery go unnoticed. At the bomb site, Tranter carefully examines the device and discovers something alarming. It has an active timer that is still ticking. The bomb squad manages to stop the countdown using a powerful magnet and starts building protective barriers around the bomb in case it detonates. During the inspection, Corporal Martin notices a strangely polished silver section on the bomb, raising doubts about its supposed World War II origin. Meanwhile, the robbers successfully break into the bank vault, stealing cash, jewelry, and valuables. Carolus also retrieves a particular brown bag he has been searching for. When the bomb suddenly starts ticking again, Tranter attempts to disable it by drilling into the device. At the same time, police headquarters detects unusual heat signatures inside the bank. Greenfield orders the bomb team to halt their work and sends officers to investigate. One officer spots Carolus nearby, forcing him to flee while warning his crew to escape. Moments later, the bomb explodes. Although Tranter and his team are injured, they survive because they were positioned far enough away. Using the explosion as a distraction, the robbers deploy drones to transport the stolen valuables out of the area. Despite a large police pursuit, the criminals successfully get away. Arnold, a member of the bomb investigation team, becomes convinced that the device is far newer than World War II and urges Tranter to consider the possibility. Tranter agrees to inform Greenfield and suggests analyzing the bomb residue for chemical evidence. Investigators soon discover the tunnel leading into the bank and realize the robbery happened during the evacuation. Greenfield orders checkpoints throughout the city. The robbers are briefly stopped, but their fake maintenance documents allow them to pass inspection. After changing their license plates, they celebrate their success and retreat to a safe house outside town. Back at the investigation, Tranter is criticized by his superiors for failing to report suspicious details about the bomb earlier. Meanwhile, Rahim and his parents return hoping to collect their luggage before a scheduled flight. While speaking with officers, Rahim mentions the apartment where he lives. Realizing it is connected to the suspected robbers, police bring him in for questioning. Rahim explains that several men arrived earlier carrying official-looking documents and requested his apartment keys. Believing the paperwork was legitimate, he handed them over despite his father's warnings. Elsewhere, the robbery crew sorts through their stolen goods. Carolus reveals that the brown bag contains a collection of uncut diamonds he believes are worth around $30 million. Claiming he needs to make a phone call, Carolus leaves the room. Moments later, armed men storm the safe house, attacking and restraining the remaining robbers. The attackers are actually working for Carolus. Their leader, Carolus's cousin Ludo, celebrates the operation's success while Carolus explains that the diamonds once belonged to a former employer who betrayed him. Ludo reminds him that he financed the entire robbery and demands half of everything. Carolus argues that the diamonds were supposed to be his reward alone. During the argument, Ludo smashes one of the diamonds and discovers it is fake. Shocked, Carolus examines the stones and realizes they are all counterfeit. Refusing to believe he has been deceived, he insists he has no idea where the real diamonds are. Ludo responds by breaking his hand and locking him in the trunk of a car. Forensic analysis later confirms Arnold's suspicion. the bomb was not from World War II at all. It actually originated from the British military. Meanwhile, Rahim secretly climbs to the roof of his building, retrieves a brown bag hidden inside a pipe, and conceals its contents inside his suitcase. Elsewhere, X manages to free himself and the surviving members of the robbery crew, although one of their companions dies from his injuries. Determined to get revenge, X leads the group in pursuit of Ludo and Carolus. During the chase, Carolus secretly sends a message containing his location to an unknown contact. At police headquarters, Greenfield discovers that the apartment used by the robbers is connected to Carolus's family. At the same time, Arnold uncovers evidence that bomb squad equipment had been deliberately tampered with. X eventually catches up to Ludo's vehicle and launches a violent attack. After killing several of Ludo's men, he frees Carolus from the trunk. However, instead of helping him, X attempts to suffocate him with a plastic bag. Just as Carolus is about to die, a gunshot tears through X's neck. The shooter is revealed to be Trantor, who unexpectedly saves Carolus's life. Carolus quickly escapes, checks into a hotel, changes clothes, and heads for the airport. Meanwhile, Arnold informs Greenfield about Trantor's troubling history, including psychological issues and a tendency to remain in dangerous war zones long after his assignments ended. While reviewing evidence, Arnold recognizes Rahim in a photograph and remembers that Rahim once served as Trantor's interpreter in Afghanistan. Suspecting Trantor's involvement, Greenfield leads a search of his home. Inside, officers discover bomb-making materials and articles detailing casualties caused by explosives in Afghanistan. Soon afterward, Trantor, Carolus, and Rahim independently travel to Istanbul, where they finally reunite. Carolus thanks Trantor for saving him, and Trantor admits he intentionally detonated the bomb to create the perfect distraction for the robbery. The trio then meets with a wealthy buyer and presents the real diamonds. After verifying their authenticity, the buyer agrees to purchase them for an enormous sum. The three men divide the money equally, receiving $30 million each before parting ways. A flashback reveals how their unlikely partnership began years earlier in Afghanistan. Carolus was secretly collecting diamonds when armed militants captured him. Nearby, Trantor and Rahim discovered themselves trapped in a deadly minefield filled with hidden explosives. During the chaos, a vehicle detonates one of the devices, creating an opportunity for Carolus to escape. The three men join forces to survive. Rahim provides cover fire while Trantor guides Carolus through disabling the explosive beneath him. Working together, they escape the battlefield moments before another explosion erupts behind them. In the aftermath, Carolus uses his fortune to establish a nature reserve on land rich with potential diamond deposits. Rahim launches his own successful business, while Trantor donates $25 million to a charity dedicated to safely removing unexploded bombs and military explosives around the world. What makes this movie stand out is how it turns what seems like a simple bank robbery into something much bigger. At first, everyone believes the unexploded bomb is just an old relic from World War II, but as the story unfolds, we discover that almost everything was part of a carefully planned operation. The film does a great job of building suspense, constantly making viewers question who can really be trusted. Every major character has secrets, and each new revelation completely changes the direction of the story. The most interesting part is the connection between Carolus, Rahim, and Trantor. What initially looks like three unrelated characters eventually becomes the heart of the entire plot. Their shared history in Afghanistan explains why they are willing to risk everything for one final score. The movie also balances action, mystery, and crime surprisingly well, with exciting chase scenes, betrayals, and unexpected twists that keep the tension high from start to finish. By the end, it's clear that the real treasure was never in the bank, it was the diamonds hidden in plain sight all along. Overall, this is a smart and entertaining crime thriller that rewards viewers who pay attention to every clue.